Everyone, hi. Bruce Mufson, LCSW from SUNRIDGE, Nevada. And today we're going to do another video breakdown of this group that's really, really impressive. And the name of the group is called Paris, Texas. And the name of the song is Ain't No High. And it's a great song. And they really kind of understand the concept of addiction, the contrast of mental illness and taking medications versus taking drugs. And I like how they went back and forth trying to kind of understand where that's coming from and how it affects you in both ways. So again, I'm only going to break down the parts that I find most clinically interesting. And if anyone has any questions, fire away. We want comments. And here we go. All right. What's interesting, they have a Western flavor to them for this song, and it makes it really kind of interesting and kind of draws you in. But the first one goes like this. My brother has a better house than I do, bigger yard and a swimming pool. My brother has a family of his own. They don't see him like they see me, never been disowned. And, you know, he's the black sheep. He's the one that doesn't have it together. He's on the outside looking in. And when you say you're being disowned, it hurts. I once had a person say to me that he had a brother that had done some really crazy things growing up, heavy drug usage. And he finally said he got himself clean. The other brother moved to a different state, had a family, stable job, couple of kids. And the brother said, I want to come to your house Christmas Eve. I know there's going to be family there, and I want to be part of the family. So the guy told me he was reluctant to bring him into his house because of all the bad things that had happened previously. And he said to the person, you know what? I'll meet you at this park about half a mile from the house. Guy shows up, he gives him a plate of food, gives him a small gift, and he goes, happy holidays. He goes, well, am I going to go into the house? He said, no. Too much has gone into the water under the bridge. I need time to process. This is our first step. But no, you can't come to see my family and see, you know, my kids and my wife. I just don't want you in my house. And be grateful I'm giving you the plate of food and a gift. That was it. Seems cold, but when you've been through this before a million times, you get to be a certain way. Goes like this, you know, he goes the chorus, but ain't no high like this one, ain't no high like this, ain't no high like this one, ain't no high like this. What's interesting is that's Addict 101. That's how you think. You know, the next high, it's going to be better, going to be better, going to be better. I got new heroin. I got new meth. I'm going to put a little fentanyl on it. Oh, this came from Mexico. Oh, this came from China. Oh, I got it from the deep, dark web. It's going to be better, going to be better, purer, more aggressive. But that's how you think. When you're caught up in a drug mindset, that's how you look at everything in life. Ain't no high like this one. That's what I need. So going to verse 2, this is a very, very interesting verse 2. And I'm going to go from here. My sister is giving risperidone. Risperidone is not a drug to fool around with because it's given on 3 different levels: schizophrenia, bipolar, and autism. But generally it's for schizophrenia. So it's not a drug you play with. And it goes, my sister is given risperidone for all of her feelings that she can't control. My father didn't know what to do sitting there at the hospital. I've had this happen to me hundreds of times. I'm dealing with schizophrenic patients and families involved. We can get you stable to a point when you come in without being on your anti-schizophrenic medication. And we do the best we can to get you back to some sense of stability and some sense of reality. But that's really all we can do. We can't, you know, pencil out the schizophrenia. It doesn't work that way. It's a lifelong issue. Hopefully over time, if you live that long, your neurons kind of burn through and you kind of start thinking a little bit more clearly. But it is a tough disorder to have. And it affects your whole life, and it affects everyone around you for their entire lives. So when he said to him, he goes like, my father didn't know what to do sitting there at the hospital. He brought me there so that she'll see my face. And the next day we brought her home. Many times after the 15th, 20th time in the hospital, families will be like, no, they can't come home. She can't come home. He can't come home. My brother can't come home. My cousin, it's too much. They don't take their meds. They get back on drugs. And it's the same cycle over and over again. And each time it gets more dangerous over time. It gets more, it takes its toll, I should say. They don't want it. There's a great way of describing what mental illness is like. You sit there and you stare at the person and they're on the medication. They're making a little bit more sense. You're hoping this is the time they're going to finally get their act together. They're going to see things clearly, but it rarely happens. It is a tough, tough disorder. So we brought her home. Like, that's it. That's the treatment plan, bringing her home. Hopefully she'll see her caseworker. She'll go to therapy, maybe group therapy. She'll find some kind of outlet, but it's really, really tough. And then he throws in, ain't no high like this one, ain't no high like this one. See, what I liked about how he put together this verse is that here, my sister is taking medication because she has to. I'm taking medication, well, I'm taking drugs to get high. I don't have to. So it's kind of like the juxtaposition. It's kind of strange to me. Not strange, but it's interesting how here he's seeing his sister who knows she's different, who knows she's ill, but she has to take this medication before she can leave the hospital. And he's doing something that's self-destructive. So ain't no high, like, why are you doing that? That's why the thing, like, ain't no high like this one. I got to get high to find the perfect high, like the perfect wave. And she's taking the med so she doesn't hurt herself or do something even worse, like commit suicide. And the father's like, well, what do I got here? I got one daughter who's seriously mentally ill, and I got a son, so to speak, that can't keep himself away from drugs that are going to hurt him just as badly in other areas. And that's something that I don't think people really understand, because in the end, he goes like this in verse 3. I'm too OD, I need to chill. I never know how cold that turkey feels. Well, the expression is cold turkey. When you go off something without any doctor supervision, like we tell alcoholics, I'm just going to stop drinking. You really can't, because there's medical concerns should you just stop drinking cold turkey. The same thing with drug usage. You got to be tapered down from the high to the low, because your body, without having that in their system, could go into shock, and bad things could happen to you. So it goes, this is the best thing I've ever felt. And, the line ahead of it was like, he saw me crying, it wasn't help. This is the best thing that I've ever felt. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I could live with this. This is a normal mindset for me. But this is the best thing that I ever felt. Can't get it back, so how time's supposed to heal? Yeah, because you have to change. You have to make the changes in your life, and then it ends up with, who can hurt me more than I hurt myself? Is that self-destructive thinking. I told people this in counseling a million times, where, we pine away for what we didn't have. I was molested, my abuser will apologize. My dad wasn't in my life. My mom was indifferent to me. My mom was cold to me. She was always complaining about my weight as a young girl. We hope. Sometimes if we do things that are so like a cry for help, and to me, drug addiction is a cry for help. Any addiction is a cry for help. That it's going to somehow come back and everyone's going to hug and kiss. And it's going to be like, a Lifetime movie. Unfortunately, there's a reason why it's a movie and it's not life. They don't call it life reality, because often what you want to have happen doesn't happen and never happens. People don't get around to doing what they should have done when they should have had the chance to do so. I'm sorry, I screwed up. I made horrible mistakes. They don't think like that. They don't really care. Don't be self-destructive in your own life. Think about what you need to do to be successful in your life. Don't go down that path of self-destruction, of thinking that drugs, alcohol, heavy eating, poor choice in partners is going to fulfill you and people are going to come running to your aid. They're not going to. This is a great song, and I really like these guys, how they put it together. This is why I'm telling you guys who are watching this video right now, this is why I want you to join SUNRIDGE Nevada. No one else talks about this stuff. My agent / producer, he finds the most up-and-coming groups. The guy's incredible. And this is relatable. It's not like someone's talking about something that you can't understand. This is understanding the consequence of drug and alcohol usage, and also understanding the ravages of severe mental illness. You come on now for $75 a month. You're going to get insights from things you never experienced. I mean, I dropped like 10 bombs just in this 10 minutes of this video breakdown. And I want you to understand that. And I want you to say, you know what? If I got a substance abuse problem, if I have issues with mental illness, what's it done to my family? What has it done to me? Let me get some clarity. So with that, again, Bruce Mufson, LCSW, Sunridge, Nevada.